Hey Trick Class, let's look at this homework question from the 10.4 homework set. So we are looking at two different vectors, but one of them has an x in the, like an unknown value in the I component here. And we're finding the magnitude of the resultant vector, meaning adding the two vectors together. Well, the way I would add the two vectors is I would add the 3 and whatever this x is, that would be my I component, and then I would add the -2 and the 4 for the j component. -2 plus 4 is +2. Alright, and then the magnitude formula would say square that horizontal component, the 3 plus x, and add to it the square of the j component, so that's 2 squared, and then take the square root of all of that, and that would need to be equal to. Alright, that's the magnitude formula of the sum of the two vectors. Well, now I have an equation with an x in it. I can solve for it. I need to get rid of the square root, so I need to square both sides. So there's what I get if I square both sides, and I took the 2 squared here and made it into a 4. So this is a quadratic equation. I can subtract the 4 from both sides, and I would get 3 plus x squared equals 12. When I take the square root of both sides, I have to consider that x could have been, 3 plus x could have been positive, or it could have been negative when I take the square root. So I get the square root of 12, but I could have had a positive, could have had a negative when I square both sides. Alright, so this is just 3 plus x. Alright, the square root of 12, there's a 4 in there. 12 could be 4 times 3, alright, and the square root of 4 is 2. So this is plus and minus 2 times the square root of 3. That simplifies down to that. Alright, and then finally we subtract the 3 over and we have x isolated. So there's two possibilities here that would have given us a magnitude of 4. X could have been -3 plus 2 times the square root of 3, but x could have also been -3 minus 2 times the square root of 3, and either one of those would have given us a magnitude of 4 if that I component of that w vector would have been either of those two numbers. I do make sure that you put a negative sign in between there. There's already an x equals, so you don't need to write x equals on there. So there's our two numbers.